Hi everybody, it's Lisa from Lisa's Paper Passion. I'm sorry I've been MIA for a while. My son is home from school, summer school, so that's been keeping me busy. But as we get adjusted to our schedule, I'm going to be creating more stuff. I wanted to do a quick share of some flowers that I've made, inspired by many different YouTubies out there. I think I made up a new word, but anyway, here are some of the flowers I've experimented with in my effort to find different types of textures and things to work with. So I'm just going to go through real quick on some of the flowers that I've made. And yes, once you start making these, it's very, very addicting, and you can just go crazy with the different types of fabrics, which is kind of what I do before I commit myself to buying a bunch of fabrics. I just go and buy like a quarter yard, or even less than that, to kind of test out to see if it's something that I like to work with. That way I don't waste my money. So well, this one doesn't have a center of it, but I wanted to show you, ladies, this is like more of a linen type flower. And there's different folding methods, rolling, triple rolling, and I've kind of tried them all. But this is a really nice one. You can fray the edges of it. So I'll just go quickly. Doily flowers are my latest obsession, and it's really, really hard to find these. So my very, very special scrappy friend found this doily tablecloth or table runner. Thank you, Noelle. Thank you very much. And this was a long runner, and oh my gosh, I've just been going crazy with that. But basically what I was trying to find out, and I could never really get answers from people who've been making this, is how they get the size and where do they buy it from. So now I figured it out. It's from tablecloths and table runners and such, because this is kind of expensive to buy. And, it's about 2.5 inches. So I saved, whenever I cut that tablecloth or table runner out, I save every single piece of it and I use it, and because it's just so precious to me. Look, like all these little pieces of it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll find a reason for it. Like this little piece that was in between, I actually use it as a flower center, and my friend Noelle taught me the what is that stitch called? The running stitch, I think. So these are kind of kept loose. This was one of these. I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just trying to tell you what other people do. This is now this, basically, with the running stitch going on the inside. And you kind of tighten it to however tight you want it or loose you want it. I used one of these on the back of a flower. I'm trying to, let's see. This used to be one of these. So anyway, quick sidebar note. This is a flower made from tulle. I really did not enjoy making these. The tulle is really hard to cut and fold and glue, and I burned my finger a million times making this, and I will not be making these again. So, but if you are, have fun with that. This was one that I made using kind of like a white light type linen. That was really fun. And I do highly recommend using the felt on the bottom. I've made several using paper, and once you use a felt, you will not go back to paper, trust me. Because the felt, you just, it's more soft and flexible and just, nicer than the paper, no matter how thin it is. I prefer the felt. So that's one. There's a little one right here. This was made out of cheesecloth. 2 different types. One is obviously higher than the other one. And I don't know, the jury's kind of still out on this one, because although I really like the look of it, this one's actually more of a favorite than this one. I like the shabby look of it, but I don't know. This was another material that was really hard to cut. It was thin. I think the lady that I was watching used the thicker one, and hers came out really nice and not so, you can't even tell I rolled these. It looks like somebody just took a bunch of cheesecloth and kind of mushed it together. So I don't know. The jury's out on that one, like I said. And then I made this one using rosettes that I found at Walmart. These were the rosettes that I used. And the tutorial basically was you cut them in half and then you roll them and roll them, just half of this. And you use, I think she used 4 of them, and then I used an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, let's see, 1, 2, 8, I'm sorry, there's 8 on the bottom because there's 4 flowers. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 halves, so 3 on top. But I don't know, this came out more fluffy than I hoped, more bigger than I wished. But maybe if I glued the flowers more towards on the inside, they wouldn't have been so fluffy. But I'm sure it will serve a purpose somewhere. And this is a button that I made with beads on the side. I don't know if you could see that. Those are extra beads around it. So that was that experiment. And then I'm saving the best for last. These 2 guys, this was again using the floral fabric type of material that I had at home. And then I stuck a doily remnant, which was one of these. I made it really tight, like this. And I stuck it in the middle, and I thought that came out really cute. And then just stuck a pearl button into it. So I thought that was really neat. And then this I already showed you, that linen material with the doily on the outside, just to kind of give it some texture and character. This was my really puffy floral fabric folded flower. It's like I said on the earlier flower, it's kind of high. I don't like the flowers to be too high. But what I learned, a big lesson, is if you're starting out making these, use as little as glue as possible, because using more glue really makes the flower kind of hard and not so soft and pliable. And you want your stuff to stick, but I think on some of these, like my earlier ones, I really went overboard on the glue gun. And I do recommend a glue gun. Low temperature will work. The other advice is I was using the high temp option on my Martha Stewart, and I was burning my finger, and I realized I really don't need a high temp for fabric because it's really not necessary. So that's the other lesson I share with you. Use as little as possible, and you can use low temp. So that's one. And my last 3, this one's okay. I used a Prima flower on top because I really wanted some other texture, and I had lace and fabric. And then this is the infamous Prima mulberry flowers, which were really pretty. Now, piece de resistance is my doily flowers. And oh my gosh, this was made using the remnants from the side of this. Thank you again, Noelle. Can't thank her enough for getting this for me. So see this right here? It's like kind of a fan. So when I finished cutting out the doilies that I wanted, which came out to be, this is this part right here, I had a lot of these side pieces left over, and I'm like, I'm not going to throw it out like I showed you earlier. Kept all my scraps. And I was on the phone talking to a friend, keeping my hands busy, and I go, you know what, there's something that I can do with these. And sure enough, I cut them like this way. And I could do a tutorial if you ladies like, but this is what it ended up to be, and I love it because I actually did 2 layers, because when I did the first layer, it was kind of a gap in between, and I really didn't want to cut any of it off. And then I did a second layer, and these ones are the 1 layer of this. It's not like the doily one where you fold it and then fold it again. This is actually 1 layer of the edge, and then you fold it, and then that's what it becomes. again, there's millions of tutorials out there, but if you have questions, please ask me, because when I ask other people questions, you know, a lot of times they don't answer you, and I really like to share what I've learned, because I don't know, I think it's just the right thing to do. But enough of that. So I did do 2 layers. There's a bottom layer which I put on felt, my favorite new material, and then I put another layer in between. I hope I'm getting this all on camera. In between, and then this little guy was again a remnant piece that I didn't want to throw out, and of course I don't know what I did with it right now, but it's here, I'll show you. It's one of these right here, this part. So I gently cut it out so I wouldn't tear any of the spokes, and I stuck it in the middle. And then I was trying to think of what else I could put on there. What else I could put on there, and I thought, you know what, I really want to keep it elegant and simple because it's so dainty already, and if I put a big button on it or something, you know, something huge, it really is going to cover up the beautiness of it. See if I put that, although that would have looked okay, but I just thought to go with this would be so much more simpler and beautiful. Sometimes you find yourself adding a bunch of things to projects, and by the end of it you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't really what I wanted. But I'm really happy with this one. And the last one was, I'm so sorry about that, my tablet fell. Sorry about that, ladies. This is my last one, and this is the one that I actually wanted to make for the longest time before I found the doilies, and it's so beautiful. And you know, really all it takes is 5 of these, and there's a tutorial out there already, but if you have questions you can ask me what the tutorial was. But there's 4 doilies, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 1 on the bottom, which first you say, well, I don't know if I want that, but it does add an extra texture, a layer to it. I mean, I think it looks okay without it, but it's just pretty. And it was really hard to cut into these and glue them because I just wanted to hoard them and not use them. But anyway, I love this project. And then the lady that was doing a tutorial said to always add like a softer texture, way close, before you put an embellishment in there. And I added some of my tulle, which I swore to myself that I wasn't going to touch again, but I touched it because I didn't throw it out. So it was actually like this color tulle, but I cut circles out, and I think it was like 3 or 4, and I just put it down. And she's right, it does kind of break up the doilies texture and just adds like another layer to it. And then this button was the prettiest one that I thought should go on there. But anyway, sorry for the rant and for the long video. I just wanted to share all my flowers with you. Thank you for watching. Bye.